Hey guys, Altovise Pelzer here, your voice manager, and I unmute the voice of women who are ready to speak up about what has kept her silent for way too long. This episode, I know I can sing so many songs to start this episode off, even though I can't sing. Don't judge my lifestyle, y'all. We can talk about, oh, won't you braid my hair? Come on in. I know I just told y'all my date and my age. Don't judge me. That was Mario, in case you didn't know. Or we can take it back to the little kids and say, I love my hair. The reason why I'm saying that is because our guest today actually is someone who speaks about healing from the inside out when it comes to hair. But we're going to dive deep because right now, more than ever, I think we need to talk about what healing on the inside when it comes to what we're eating, really, what that can really do for us and how that can really set us apart, especially now with everything that we're going through. So with that being said, hello, Precious. How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Altovise. I am so grateful to be here and to pour into you guys for these next few minutes.
I'm excited about it as well. Listen, I have been one that has done a lot when it comes to my health, when it comes to my hair, when it comes to what I eat. I am a snacker for sure, but I know at the beginning of this pandemic, I was trying to not gain the COVID-19. I was not trying to gain them 19 pounds from eating the snacks that was in the house. But before we dive into today's topic, Precious, let everybody know a little bit about yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Precious Rutlin, and I am a trichologist. And if you don't know what a trichologist is, that's someone that specializes in the study of hair and scalp. So, if you're having issues with your hair, it's thinning, falling out, that is how I serve you. So, I have predominantly women. They come to me when their hair is falling out, and I show them how to create an environment to go from thin to thick hair and just get them to the place to where a wig is optional and not a must.
I know a lot of people's ears just perked up and said it doesn't have to be a must, it can be optional. Yes, 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 yes. One of the things that I think we don't talk about enough. We don't talk about it enough with our children. We don't talk about it enough in our schools. We don't talk about it enough is what we eat and how it really affects us. And so let's start there because let's be honest. I can tell you, like I said, I'm a snacker.
Mhm.
And when I'm in my zone, especially at being home,
Yep.
I'll grab for a snack and it's not a salad. And so, with that being said, what are some other options for us that have been, we're working from home and we're snacking and we're trying not to gain those extra pounds, but we starting to see some things, or we're seeing that we're getting breakouts,
Yep.
we're having issues. What
Mhm.
would be your alternative for us?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up. So just that you mentioned right there. So I'll just back up. So on two things that you mentioned. You mentioned about like the breakouts and then, healthier options. So I'll start with the breakout. So if you're starting to see breakouts, that's a sign or indication that your body internally, your systems, your like intestines and your stomach, your liver, your kidney. So that's letting you know that, hey, there's congestion here and I'm not working properly. And so it's showing up, in the acne, the pustules, the pupils on your skin, your eczema may be flaring up. You may be starting to see more red spots on your skin. And so that's an indication that, hey, you need to start changing your foods up. So one of the things that you can do is to, of course, one of the biggest culprits that you just mentioned that's contributing to the COVID-19 is like sugar. So it's okay to have the sugar, but again, everything in moderation. And just like you were mentioning, okay, so let's have some healthier options and snacks. So yes, having the salads is good for you, but you don't have to always eat the salads. And now I also want to back up and just point out, so when we're talking about salads, people think like just that regular lettuce salad is healthy for just regular lettuce. And that's really not nutritional for you. Like, you don't get as much nutritional value out of it. And so that's how we most of the time end up missing the nutrients that we need. If you're going to eat a salad, opt for a salad that's like the dark green leafy vegetables like spinach, kale, broccoli, or um, those type of dark green vegetables. And you don't always have to have it cold and raw, because now at this point, if your stomach is congested, your skin's breaking out, raw food at this point may not be the best option, especially if you're having stomach issues, because your body can't absorb it, it can't digest it. You're having small intestinal bowel overgrowth, like you have that bacteria that's in your system, in your gut, and it can't get cleaned out. So you want to start opting for like cooking most of your food, so you can be able to break it down better. And that's another thing. We're really quick, always on the go, we're in a hurry, we don't take time to actually sit still and chew our food. It's always take like about 2 or 3 bites of something and drink some soda, and then you're on to the next thing. And you're supposed to actually sit, chew your food for at minimum at least 75 chews, break it down all the way to like its juice mix, and then swallow. And then you'll find yourself, when you take your time to eat slower, chew your food, you won't be as hungry, because you're actually you're what's the word, you're I guess I say enjoying your food, giving your food gratitude, giving your body the gratitude that it needs. And then like right now, certain foods just may not agree with you, like especially right now during this time, at the time we're doing this episode, there's the pandemic. So everyone is just we're just stressed, we're tense, there's anxiety. And so if you're grabbing for the sugars, the pastas, the cakes, you're like just feeding that negative energy, versus um opting for food that's more on a higher energetic level for you, that can give you the fuel that you can need, so you can manage and continue to work from home. So you always can opt for your lighter snack. I mean, you can also can have your fruit, your apples, your oranges, those are still in season, and they're a little bit filling, versus reaching in that candy dish or going to get the cookies. Because the only thing that's doing is those types of foods is like exasperating your skin conditions and your inflammation. So if you really want to get in the habit of right now, like even going into the new year, you can start cleansing your body and start doing like intermittent fasting, and really just paying attention to what you're actually picking up and putting into your mouth. So if I have to give you better food choices and options, one, definitely increase your vegetables at at each meal. Try to have those dark green vegetables, at least a cup to a cup and a half, 2 cups, at least lunch and dinner. And it's real simple, and you're helping to boost your immune system up at this time that we need. So you really want to just get foods that can put the vitamins in your body, versus having to rely heavily so much like on supplements and so forth. I know that was a long answer, but
No, that was
I
really
just trying to
good. One of the
throw some
things
things
that
out.
really stood out when you were talking, well, there were a couple gems that you dropped. I hope Speakeasy podcast listeners, I hope y'all were listening and taking notes. If not, hit that good pause button and go back and listen again. Make sure you write them down. But you talked about the intermittent fasting, and I think that that has been something that I've started to um, get more, research more and get more information about.
Good.
And honestly, it's never been something that I had heard before. I never knew what this process was about. I knew about fasting because it's something that, as a believer in Christ, that's something that we do in church.
Yes.
But intermittent fasting, can you explain that to the studio audience a little bit? Because I think some of them are going to say, "Wait, so you want me to do like a Daniel fast every month, or you want me to what we doing?"
No, actually, I speak of intermittent fasting because those are like one of my favorites to do, and that's what one of the things that I've done to help me manage and to keep my weight under control, especially when I was suffering from high blood pressure, pre-diabetes, and I had to find a way fast to get my body in order so I can get off, those that blood pressure medicine, because that was just like, I'm like, no, I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna go there. But what intermittent fasting is that you pick a certain block of time where you'll eat. So say for instance, by you being new and you're considering doing intermittent fasting, say you may start off with 8 hours. So let's just say between like 10 and 6, like those will be the only time that you would eat, like, have breakfast, have your little lunch, and then like maybe two snacks in between, maybe dinner. And then so for those next hours, so from 7 all the way up until again till like 10 o'clock the next day, you want to eat. So and you can work with the times as you want. So but the goal is to really, if you really want to be a G and get yourself in order, is to get that eating window down to like maybe 4 or 6 hours, just depending on what your goals are and what you want to do. And and just drink water. So that is called intermittent fasting. So it's discipline. So you're still getting the foods that you eat, but when you go in that window, that you can't be opting to eat junk and chips. You got to eat solid whole foods that's going to build your body up and that's going to help to sustain you, until you can get ready to eat again. So what that's really doing is shifting your body, is reprogramming your body entirely. If you stick to it, it's helping to regulate your blood sugar, and it's really giving your body, especially your digestive system, a rest. Because think about it, you're at home now, you're eating more frequently, you're not exercising as much as you should, or you're not able to get to the gym like you want to. It's tough. You're wearing all these different hats right now. And so you need options and other ways to, one, keep your mind focused, to know that, it won't last like this always. And right now, what you can do is what's in control, what you have in control, which is watching everything that you're putting into your body, what you're putting it into your mouth, what you're eating, and then what you're speaking. So that is what will help you to get through if you're really considering doing an intermittent fasting. And it can, you can do it for however long you want. You can do it for a month and try it, or you can just maybe test it out. You can maybe do it for a week and test it out. I know for me, when I was going through my weight loss, and really getting myself in order, I think I was able to do it for like at least a good 3 months. And I really saw results that I needed. But of course, that was in addition to me working out, journaling, doing the mental work that I needed as well to really cleanse my body and really heal what I needed to heal.
And in that 3-month period, how
Mhm.
much weight did you lose?
I want to say that went ahead and put me over into the actual weight goal. So I want to say I at least had lost a good 15 to 20 pounds just in that window. So I had lost some weight prior, but once you lose weight, you kind of get stuck at that plateau. And I was like, man, no, I want to take some more weight off. So I was like, well, what can I do different to get my body changed? And then once I hit that intermittent fasting, that took me on over to my weight goal.
Oh, now that was a significant piece too, because I think that's what pushes a lot of people to go into unhealthy ways
Yes.
of trying to get the weight off, is they hit that plateau and now I'm
Yep.
trying to look for whatever I can look for. Whereas what I've from my research so far, the intermittent fasting is changing your eating habits. It's
Yes.
changing your health lifestyle, as opposed to just trying to find a quick fix, because there are some people that do the intermittent fasting once a month. There are some people that, there's some people that do regular fasting once a
Yep.
month. And so I found that to be really significant, especially now. One of the things that was really heart like it man, it was heart wrenching listening to the conversations about COVID and the fact that people with pre-existing conditions are, having more issues, are having more problems than those who are a little healthier. And it's not even like, you don't have to be, I'm not saying you have to be a gym rat, guys,
Right.
but just the smallest things was a shift. And it was so crazy because for me, now this is something, Speakeasy podcast listeners, I haven't told anybody about this, but I actually recently found out. And of course, when you hear this episode, she'll be healed already. But I found out that my oldest daughter, who is away in college, tested positive. And, she's like, oh, they think she's asymptomatic. Is that what it is? Did I just say that wrong?
I think it's asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic. I knew it was somewhere in that facility, that area, but no symptoms. She's doing good. There's no, she's not like in the bed or anything. She's up, she's moving, she's doing, she's going about life. She's a little frustrated because she got to be quarantined for like 10 days, but outside of that, she's okay. And it was I was having a conversation with my son, and he said, but I thought that they said that there were a lot of people dying from it. And I said, well, there are, but it's according to your body. It's individual cases. There are very high numbers of people who are passing away, but the majority of them are ones who had pre-existing conditions. They had high blood pressure, they had diabetes, they had issues with asthma, they had issues with, I mean, just all of these different things. And because it's such a stigma to kind of say to somebody, you need to be healthier, you need to, there's some lifestyle changes you really need to make, we still put a stigma on that. It's disheartening because family members that we truly love, we can help them.
Yep.
And in this moment, it's like, oh my goodness, now we're at the we're at a point where now we're rushing to try to figure out ways to help our family and to get everybody healthier. But I think that part really stood out for me in this whole scenario, because yes, we've literally been put into a place where the things we've been sharing, the things that people have told us about our health, it really is playing a very big factor in what's going on right now.
Absolutely.
That part. So, Precious Nail, I love that you shared your journey as well, because I think that's another piece of it, is that when we can see that there's somebody else that has gone through it and they survived, because I think that's what some people think about when they think about the intermittent fasting, or even when it comes to changing their diet. They're like, I can't survive that. I can't survive
Yes.
without.
I hear that all the time. Yes, you can. You can survive and you can make it.
So we just having that confidence and saying, okay, so she said she did it for 90 days. She got, she was able to lose this amount of weight. That's really significant. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And as we move forward, it's taking it to another level because now not only are we shifting our health for us to be able to get past everything that's going on right now, but also for us to live longer. There's a piece of it that helps with our hair as well.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I learned because not only did I have issues with my body, the pre-diabetes and high blood pressure, but also after having my second son, I experienced hair loss, and it was right in the front, lost my edges and part of my hair. So it was just really devastating. And it was just like, I was like, I'm not gonna beat myself up, but still at the same time, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say that my confidence and self-esteem wasn't tainted. And that just pushed me further to get into specializing in the hair and scalp, because I was like, if I'm feeling this way, I only can imagine what somebody else is feeling. And so that is why I got really key and honed in on not just the hair piece of it, but also the health piece of it, because you can't just focus on having healthy hair or longer hair without your health. The two go hand in hand. So what I noticed was when I stopped eating those foods that were contributing to the inflammation or keeping my blood sugar high, and I started switching and opting for more low glycemic types of food and eating more of those cruciferous vegetables to help get those toxins and parasites and just stuff out of my body, I noticed a difference in my hair. And so that's why I'm really keen. If you guys can't pick up on nothing else, start eating your leafy green vegetables. Like that was just key. Like once I started eating that, I really noticed the difference in my hair. And I was like, well, hell, I'm just gonna be eating greens all the time. And that's all I eat now. Like I don't even eat this regular lettuce and romaine lettuce because that's not giving me the nutrients and the B vitamins that I need. Even the leafy green vegetables, you're getting like your B vitamins, you're even getting a little bit of protein out of them. Like this stuff is crucial. Like if you just take the time and really just eat according to your body and how you're built, you'll be amazing. You will have so much energy. And it's just simple. It's just like paying attention to how you feel after you eat certain foods. If you eat a piece of meat and you feel it can't go down and you just stomach bloat and digest it, then don't eat that much. You don't eat that much. I mean, it's just simple as that. It's just making different choices.
So now I want to get into, and Speakeasy podcast listeners, I really want you to hone in, make sure you listen in, turn it up, get your notebook, your pen if you didn't have it already. So, okay, we know that our body, something's wrong in our body. We
Yes.
feel sluggish. We feel
Mm-hmm.
like we're not we're not executing at our highest capacity. We're not sleeping well at night.
Mm-hmm.
These are the things that happen that we don't talk about. We don't
Yes.
ask questions about. And so I really want to, like, this is my belt taking me, this is my mom mode, taking my belt out for the Speakeasy listeners and saying, go talk to the
Taking that
doctor.
belt out. Not take the
This is me taking my belt out.
yeah.
What are three questions that they should ask their doctor if they are feeling as though they're not sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
They feel like they're constipated. Let's be honest, come through. Let's be honest. They're not going on a regular basis, which is
Mm-hmm.
a lot more people than what they would like to confess.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going on a regular basis, they're not sleeping well, or they just feel like they're always tired. What
Yeah.
should be three things that they're either discussing with their doctor or they're asking their doctor?
Yes, and that's wonderful. So one of the things that it's just like what you just mentioned, just go in and be honest with your doctor. So the first thing is if you haven't already, go get your annual exam. Let's start there. Some people haven't even been to the doctor and I don't know when, just to go get a regular physical. And then when you go in, just say, hey, I've been noticing I've been feeling sluggish. Can we just go ahead and do a blood panel, just a full workup of my blood panel, just to see, if anything's off in my body? Is my thyroid off, or is my blood count where it needs to be? Am I deficient in anything? Because that's going to be like just your baseline, and give you a picture, just a snapshot, because that's all the blood will be able to do, is just give you a snapshot of what's going on in your body for that period of time, and then you'll be able to work your way there. Now, the second thing is, and now medicine has its place, but doctors, they're quick to, you'll go in there and say, okay, well, I'm constipated, bloated, and I'm sleep. I don't sleep well, and so they may turn around, pull out their little white book, just in them 15 minutes or so, which is to me not enough time to really get to the root cause. But that's a different talk for another day. And then they'll say, okay, well, here, I'm going to put you on this medication. And so what do we normally do? We say, well, okay. And we say that because he's the doctor and he has these board certifications. And what you're failing to do is not ask, okay, well, why am I being put on this medicine? What is the side effects? So have them take the time to explain to you what that medication is going to do, how long do you have to be on it, and what are the side effects. Because just because you're getting prescribed one thing, and I've seen it, I witnessed it, they'll have you on one medicine, and then you go back because it's a side effect for another medicine from that medicine, so now they got to give you another medicine to help counteract the side effect that's going on with this medicine. And so you just really need to be mindful. You don't have to always jump quick just because they recommended some medication. You can just, right now, you're just gathering information, because you can lay everything out on the table. Like, this is your body, this is your health, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one having to spend these hundreds of dollars to keep getting these prescriptions and things filled. And I've seen it. That's what medicines do. So yeah, they have its place and they truly do help you when you need it. But if you're not putting back the nutrients back in your body, because that's what the medicines do, they're draining you of the nutrients that you did have, they pulling that all the way out. So now, if you don't have some way to go back and replenish those vitamins and put them back into your body, then you're going to continue to feel the way you're going to feel, and this is only going to get worse. And that's where I see that the medical profession is lacking. So that's why I really take hold in what I'm doing right now to really get to the root cause and explain to people why they're going through that. And then the third thing, let me think. Then the third question, um, that I would say is, don't be scared, um just to ask for more information. Again, I think that, once they tell us a word or a diagnosis, we kind of shrink and just get scared, because our mind is so blown that, oh, they just told me I got cancer. Oh, they just told me I have this. It's like, okay, well, can you provide me more information? Because they're real quick. They'll come in there. You know how the visit go. You're gonna spend most of your time with the nurse practitioner. They're gonna take your vitals, and you may or may not even see the doctor. And if he do come in, they only in there for about 5 minutes, and it's like, okay, how are you feeling today? What are you doing? They're gonna come take that little stethoscope, put it on your heart, have you breathe in and out a couple of times, and then go back and try to give you a little diagnosis. So don't be scared, just to ask them again for additional information. And 9 times out of 10, the only thing they're gonna do is just hand you a pamphlet on something, but it's gonna be up to you initially to go and do further research. Um, so that's what I can think of off the top of my head as far as like questions that you need to be asking.
Those are perfect. And like I said, this is I think now more than ever we're seeing and hearing stories of, you know, those who fought for their health
Yep.
in some way, shape, or form. We heard about, of course, Serena Williams. We heard about, all of these different people. We Beyonce talked about, during her pregnancy and what she endured. And it's like you have to fight for your health and you have to be willing to speak up. So that it was really significant because there are so many of us that we go ahead and just go with the flow. We go ahead
Yep.
and just say, okay, we'll take the pills. We'll go ahead and go ahead and take the prescription and fill it and can't even pronounce what it is,
Yep.
but we'll put it into our bodies and we don't always know what it's going to do for us or to us when we put it inside of our system. I know Speakeasy podcast listeners, when I say I know this story all too well, I was that daughter that my mother was sick and I had to go to the hospital and tell them, what medications she was on, and I would literally hand them a bag of medications because I didn't know what all of those medications were. I didn't Don't ask me to pronounce half of them because that's a whole other shout out to all the nurses that had to learn all of those words.
Right.
Shout out to all the doctors. But I didn't know those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until they would start talking about them that I'm like, okay, well, she didn't. Oh, well, this medication is for seizures. She didn't have seizures. Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
it may have been a side effect from another medication. So they just gave her the medication for seizures.
Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't have seizures. Like things like that really do happen in the everyday.
Mm-hmm.
In the everyday. So I want you to know and understand that you need to fight, fight, fight for your health. Your health is very valuable.
Yes.
Guess what? We can't help our children, our spouse, or anybody else in the world if we are not fit for service.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to jump in, and just to co-sign on what Altovise was just saying, and that's another reason why I'm just real passionate about what I'm doing, because like Altovise, at least her mom is still here, but my mother passed away, and that's another thing, kind of getting on the soapbox as well, is that the older parents, they don't tell the children or share with the children what they have going on with their body. And like Archie V, she didn't even know half the medications that her mother was on. And me too. Like, I didn't know my mom was on, she was on 12 medications, and I had no idea. Like, I knew she was on medication. I just assumed two or three, just for high blood pressure. But, when she passed away, everything just hit the fan. And I'm like, 12 medications, and I'm like, for what? And then come to find out, my brother was always going to go pick up the prescription, and I'm thinking, like, you never took the time to ask her or read the bottles to find out why she taking these 12 12 bottles of medicine, really? Come on. And I'm like, so now that's like why I'm really big on just looking to help and save as many women as I can, so they can be around for their loved one, for their daughter, somebody can keep their mother a little bit longer, because it makes no sense. It just really makes no sense when you can just take the time to ask questions. And I'm like, if she had told me this, I could have been researching and helping her to at least get cut them medicines down to at least 3 or 4, but not no 12. Should nobody be on no 12 medications at one time?
I know that's right. Yes. Well, my mother did. She did pass away
Oh, okay. I'm
in,
sorry.
in
I apologize.
2011, and
Okay.
and but it was that time frame.
Yeah.
It was like her last 3 years that I really had to do a lot more in talking with the doctors, and I was confused, they were confused. It was it was not a
Ridiculous.
clear
Strange.
conversation.
Right.
It was not one at all. I absolutely love this episode. I know Speakeasy podcast listeners, you're like, oh my goodness, this was a little bit more than what we normally do, but I wanted you to really have the insight and the empowerment for you
Yes.
to fight for your health. And so, with that being said, Precious, let them know how they can find you online and also how they can get in contact with you for more information.
Definitely. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Dirty Hair Secrets. For those of you that may be on LinkedIn, just type in my name, Precious Rutlin, and then you are always more than welcome to just direct message me and just say, hey, I'm from Speakeasy Podcast, and I heard you speaking, and I have some extra questions, and I'd be more than willing to hop on the phone or Zoom, however you want to do it, and contact you. And you can also visit my website. It's www.helpmewithmyhair.com. And you can always schedule an info session as well. And we can get on the phone and talk and discuss, what you're going through. So I can help you with your hair and your health as well.
My pleasure. I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Speakeasy podcast listeners, I told y'all make sure that y'all were taking notes. It's okay if you missed a few things. Go ahead, hit that pause, hit that rewind, and go ahead and take those notes. And don't forget to share it out because you got a cousin, an auntie, a grandpa, someone that needs to hear this episode because it's time that we get our health back. There are some other things. I'm definitely going to bring Precious back on for
Yes,
part two because there are some other things that are circling around the social media world that we need to, talk about. And when it comes to the health of us
yes.
and our hair and man, and I know you guys are going to send in questions as well. So if you send in questions, I'll definitely reach back out to Precious and we'll come back on for a second part.
Yes, absolutely.
That part. So, Speakeasy podcast listeners, I appreciate each and every one of you because without the Speakeasy listeners, there would be no Speakeasy podcast. Make sure that you are joining the conversation, bit.ly/World Voice Community. Come join the free Facebook group. We would love to hear your feedback about this episode and how it resonated with you, or leave us a review on your favorite podcasting platform. Because guess what? We want to make sure that you're getting the information that you need for you to be able to elevate in life and business. With that being said, I'm Altovise Pelzer, your host, your voice manager. And until next time, don't forget to press it out. See ya.
Bye.